Hey peeps, I'm back at the 4-wheel drive show. I've just come to the 23Zero stand and they've got a heap of new rooftop tents, brand new range. My favourite of all is the Saber Pro. I'm actually really excited about this one. They've made some serious upgrades to it. Let's take a quick look at it. As you can see, the awning has changed. They've basically released this about a year ago at the last show. You would have seen my last video. And you can see that there are some significant differences. Now, mainly because they've obviously taken a lot of feedback and made some upgrades. The awning, a lot easier. Great feature of this one, I really like, because you don't always want it flapping around if it is heavy wind. It's got a little clip there so you can clip it down. Just gives you a little bit more protection from the wind. And the idea of this awning is it is all set up from the front. So when you are setting up a rooftop tent, as I always do, you always flip it up from the back and you can control all your awning from the front. You're not running around to the back. It does still have the self-inflating mattress, which is fantastic. Everybody knows rooftop tents can come with hard mattresses, and the 23Zero have taken care of that. That's an absolute ripper. If you don't have a self-inflating mattress, good chance you'll be upgrading that at some point anyway. They have upgraded the clips. They're all black, of course, and they're all laser cut with the branding. They look fantastic, and they've got some screens on the awning as well. Ladder looks pretty much the same, of course, and I always recommend getting extra ladder mounts at the side, depending on how you're going to use it. But I tend to use rooftop tents more from the side than I do from the back. Now, of course, this is a fully welded frame, and that's probably the biggest and best feature of this rooftop tent. Top and bottom. That's an absolute ripper, guys, because you do get water coming up from the bottom occasionally, but more importantly from the top. The seals are absolutely fantastic in this. I can't imagine you'll ever have any problems with water getting in. The only real issue is going to be condensation, and that's really up to you guys to control. And this rooftop tent does take care of some of that. It has good ventilation, so you shouldn't have too much of a problem if you're doing the right thing. Now, of course, you do have the external gas struts, so you can keep an eye on these. The welded frame, like I said, it's just an absolute ripper. Never going to get any water in. I don't care if you just got a couple of screw holes or anything in your rooftop tent. That's always a weak point for any rooftop tent. So if you really want to protect yourself from the rain, and I've had some issues in the past with previous rooftop tents, and my Saber has been fantastic for the last couple of years. But of course, this is just going to eliminate any risk of ever getting any water in there. They've also got these low-lying streamlined racks on the top, the bars on the top. They are fantastic, and they are movable as well. So of course, you don't have to have those on there if you want, but obviously it makes some sense. They sit so low, not going to be a big issue anyway. But like I said, they can be moved as well to suit whatever you're putting on top, whether it's your solar panels or putting your kayak up there if you want. It is around 99 kilos, I believe, so it's not the lightest of their range, of course. For me personally, I always have it on a trailer, so never a problem, but obviously have a look at the weight if you are going to put it on your car. Looking inside as well, great feature for me, because I often like being in the swag and being able to watch the stars as I'm sleeping, or being able to watch the weather. It does have a fantastic skylight, and the frame, the way the frame's designed, it does give you a lot more space inside. So it has a bar across the front that you can flip up, and a bar across the top that extends out as well. It probably adds about another 10 seconds to setting it up. But really, this is a 30-second setup anyway, so you'll still have it set up in less than a minute. I've got the Saber, as you know. I don't think it's ever taken me more than a minute to set it up, and that's, you know, me mucking around as well. So absolutely fantastic. It does have really good insulation top and bottom, so it is going to protect you from you know, extreme cold. I actually just spent the last couple of weeks in my Saber Pro. I had it down to under 0 degrees. I was actually using the flannel and the down blanket together. I bought them both because I wasn't sure which one to use. In that sort of weather, I ended up using them both. It was pretty good. It held up really good. Of course, you still get your storage at the top as well, and I used that for the first time, to be honest, because the weather was pretty bad. and great for watching movies, storing extra bits and pieces, and that of course it does come with lights and power inside as well. Again, another fantastic feature. Another great feature of course, and I used that a lot on my last trip, is the shoe bag. I don't like my shoes inside. Traditionally I've always had a little bag which I put inside, but you always end up getting a little bit of dirt, and for me it just makes a lot more sense, and you've got good protection in your shoes. They're off the ground. You get a lot of dingoes, a lot of wild dogs and that sort of thing out in the wild, so don't always expect your shoes to be there in the morning. And of course when you're using the ladder, you want your shoes close by, because it can be hard on your feet. Another quick feature is the height. They've actually increased this height slightly, which is fantastic. Big thing for me in the Saber. I can get all my bedding in there fine, but I've got a big fat pillow and I can't get that in there. This is actually taking care of it again. They've increased the height, hence why they've lowered the bars or the roof bars across the top. So overall it's pretty much the same, but it does give you a lot more space inside, and you can actually see it because with the mattress it's got an 80 centimetre self-inflating. There's a gap here, a couple of centimetres there, and then of course you've got the height of that as well, so you'll be able to get your pillows in there and keep all your bedding, probably some of your clothes in there as well, which is another great feature of this rooftop tent. They've really thought out the mounts too in the awning. This one has a new style mount which mounts to the side. That's going to be a hell of a lot stronger. Now, I do have my awning mounted under the old system underneath. Never had a problem with them. Just done a few hundred Ks and for thousands of Ks on corrugated tracks. Never been an issue, but it's always in the back of my mind. And they've really thought that out. Being a fully welded frame mounted to the sides, it's not going to be a problem carrying something as heavy, about 20 odd kilos for the awning. And of course they've got a couple of new awnings as well, which we'll have a look at in a different video. One more thing I want to mention, and for me this is probably the biggest thing, my biggest gripe with rooftop tents, swags, all that sort of stuff, is the zips. Now, opening and closing is really simple and easy. I've always loved the fact that they've got these extra tags on there. Believe me, in the middle of the night you need to get up and you've had a couple of drinks. It makes finding the zips a lot easier. But what they've actually done with this rooftop tent, which is fantastic, they've combined the fly and the canvas. So essentially what that means is you've got one zip to open and close. My biggest gripe is every time I get into my rooftop tent, I have to essentially two zips to get in and out. So if you can find that in a rooftop tent, mate, it's a winner in my books. This really is for me the pick of all rooftop tents. I've always been a fan of 23Zero. Best value for money as far as I'm concerned. It's, for me, kind of like the mid-range price stuff. You've got your budget stuff. If you can't afford it, jump into it. In a couple of years, you'll be replacing it anyway. Or you can go real expensive. You can spend 9-10 grand on a rooftop tent and you're really not getting any better features as far as I'm concerned. I've always said you're paying twice as much, but you're not getting twice as good. And they've really ticked all the boxes with this rooftop tent. I will put together a video showing some of the other rooftop tents, but for me this is the pick. If I was going to get another rooftop tent, it'd definitely be this one. So there you go, peeps. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will put together another video showing a few of the other tents. Subscribe and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, peeps.